Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another zodiac themed yoga flow for Taurus season. Now, I have a lot of bulls. They are the bull in my life that I love dearly. So I'm dedicating this yoga flow to any of you that are born in the Taurus season. But of course, we can all leverage this beautiful season of the year. So we're coming off Aries season, which is very action oriented, very fiery, and heading into a more grounding time, the earth sign of Taurus. And Taurus, the bull, is very steady, it's tenacious, it goes after the thing it wants in a very meticulous way, but it can also be a little stubborn at times. And also Taurus energy loves the pleasures of this physical plane of our earth. So we're going to incorporate all that into today's practice. So go ahead and find a seat with me. We're going to find a grounding seat, take some grounding breaths before we head into today's yoga flow. So you can be seated in easy pose, cross-legged if that feels good to you, or you can be in hero's pose. But let's find a nice seat. You can even put a blanket underneath your hips. Close your eyes and let's focus on taking some nice, deep, full breaths. So fully inhale. Hold it for just a moment and exhale. That a few more times on your own pace. Inhale. Hold and exhale. With each breath, we're allowing ourselves to ground in this moment, feeling the sensation underneath our seat and our legs and our feet touching the ground, feeling that beautiful energy from Mother Earth. And we're also starting to contemplate things that we want to focus in this season. Maybe we had a ton of ideas or a ton of creative energy in Aries season. Where do we want to focus that steady bull-like energy on during Taurus season? Still breathing. Remembering that sometimes that stubbornness energy can come up, and just acknowledging it and being aware of it and funneling it into a useful, effective strategy heading into this season. What do we want to be stubborn about? Maybe it's those goals we want to go after or things we want to incorporate in our life. How can we really harness that stubborn energy in a positive way? Go ahead and take one more deep breath in. Hold and fully exhale. Now you can go ahead and open your eyes. If you are familiar with my yoga flows, I always start them the same way by just taking some nice head rolls. Again, just helps me center literally and figuratively before the yoga flow. So we're just rolling all the way around. Either direction doesn't matter. Make sure your posture is in check, your spine is nice and long, your shoulders are back and down. Releasing that tension in your neck. Then switch directions. Slowly circling all the way around. And then come back to center. Let's do some shoulder circles as well, up and back. Feels so good. This is why I always start my yoga flows this way, is it just, my body's like, thank you. Again, still grounding ourselves, such an important part of this practice. Really connecting with the ground, with the earth, whether you're outside or not. And then switch directions. Still breathing. Coming back to that center of breath whenever we feel thoughts trying to come in and take our attention. Beautiful. Now let's go ahead and take One deep inhale in, reach up towards the sky, our gaze in our hands. Exhale back down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reaching up. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Bring our hands together in prayer pose and just gently lean towards the right or the left if you're not mirroring me. And then we'll switch to the other side. Inhale back to center, and then let's go ahead and exhale into a twist. I just bring my hands down, still keeping my spine nice and long, but twisting towards the side. Again, either side, as long as we repeat it on the other side next. One breath here, and then inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Like we said, Taurus season, Taurus energy is known for being steady and tenacious. And think of how strong a bull is. So can you harness that energy towards the things that your soul is calling you to go after? Maybe we just need to narrow down our energy. Maybe it feels a little scattered. This is a beautiful time to inhale back to center and go around that energy. Okay, go ahead and join me in tabletop. So now we're going to have our palms on the mat, knees on the mat. Our hips are stacked over our knees. Our shoulders are stacked over our wrists. And you know what? I'm just going to take some time here to gently move out my hips, just kind of swaying them back and forth as I find myself in this pose. And we're going to start by doing some cat-cows. Okay, so after we're done stretching out our hips a little bit, we're going to start by tipping our tailbone up, dropping our belly, inhaling, bringing our gaze and our chest towards the sky. And then exhaling, again, starting at the tailbone, tucking it in, rounding the back, chin to chest. Go ahead and do that a few more times at your own pace, dropping the belly, tilting the tailbone up, gaze and chest towards the sky. Inhale and exhale, tucking it all in. Do it 2 more times. Feeling your connection with the earth as you press into the ground through your palms and your knees as you go through cat-cow. Finding that stability in this pose in this season. All right, we're going to transition into puppy pose. So we're going to bring our palms up towards the front of our mat and just kind of leaning it back. We're still keeping our knees at 90-degree bend. We're not leaning all the way back into child's pose, but reaching those hands up, resting our forehead on the mat, and opening the chest. So we're kind of tucking the navel in just a little bit. Finding a few deep breaths here. Really settle in and ground into this puppy pose. Think about where you want your power to go in this season. The actions may not look as fiery or as flashy as Aries season, but they're very grounded actions in towards what is important to you. One more deep breath here. And then go ahead and meet me back in tabletop for just a moment. Then we're going to tuck our toes under and you're going to pop it up into plank. So our shoulders are still over our wrists. We're just going to rock back and forth here for just a moment, tucking our navel in and making sure our back is nice and straight. Feeling that ab work for just a moment. And then we're going to walk our feet in, raise our hips into downward facing dog. So pushing those palms into the ground. Trying to keep our back nice and straight. We can bend the knees if we need to, just a little bit. What's important is that your back is straight, your spine is nice and long, your shoulders are down still, even though you're inverted, and you're bringing those shoulder blades together. And then let's go ahead and bend the knees here, alternatively walking the dog. Again, pushing those palms into the ground, feeling that beautiful grounded energy. One more breath. And then on the next inhale, we're going to bring that right foot up into three-legged dog for just a moment. And then sweep it through into low lunge. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that back foot down. Stay here for just a moment with your palms in the ground, leaning into that front low lunge. And then you can bring it up, your hands to your knees. Shoulders up, back, and down, finding our posture again, opening our chest and our heart. Oh, one deep breath in this stretch, feeling that extension in our hips starting to open. Then let's bring our biceps up by our ears. Now we're going to find our balance in this pose, our groundedness. And we're also going to do a little variation with our hands. We're going to do cow face hands with our hands in the air. So we're going to go ahead and still have our right palm towards our body and bring it down. And then we're going to swing the left arm around, palm facing towards the back of our mat, and try to find our fingers touching here. Beautiful. If you just need to grab onto your shirt or your hair, that's fine. If they don't touch, meet yourself where you're at. Beautiful. Stay here for just a moment. Again, really harnessing that Taurus energy, that grounding, steady, yep, sometimes stubborn energy, and seeing how we can leverage it. All right, release the hands back up and then bring them back down to your mat. Let's go ahead and pop it back up into plank, bringing our right foot back, and then meet me in downward facing dog. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So go ahead and bring your left leg up as high as you can in three-legged dog, and then sweep it through into a low lunge, bringing that back knee down. Stay here on the ground for just a moment, keeping your palms on your mat, rocking back and forth, opening that hip. If you haven't opened it up in a while, you may hear my hips popping. It feels so good to open those hips gently. And then we're going to bring our hands towards our knee. Check your posture. Your chest is high, your shoulders up, back, and down, locked into place. Finding your breath and your balance here. Rocking back and forth if you need to. And then gently bringing your biceps up by your ears. Beautiful. Now we're going to do the same pose with our hands on this side, but it's opposite. So keep your left hand up, or whichever one you didn't do before. Bring your right hand behind you and try to find that grasp. Remember, one hand is facing the back of your mat and one is facing forward, so they can find the fingertips. But again, if you can't reach that far, that's okay. We're still leaning into this hip stretch and breathing. Strong and steady Taurus energy coursing through our awareness. What can you be stubborn about in this season that is going to serve you? Maybe it's staying true to who you are or what you want out of this life, even though people are telling you otherwise. Can you harness that stubborn energy? Release hands back up and then back down to your mat. Bring your left foot back towards into plank. And then let's go ahead and release it down into tabletop. I don't know about you guys, but I need a little stretch and rest and release into child's pose. So let's go ahead and bring it back to child's pose. I bring my knees a little bit wider and my toes together. Feeling that extension in my back and my shoulders and in my hips. Breathe. Take a few more deep breaths here. Then you're going to go ahead and meet me in tabletop for just a moment, and then finally in plank. And you can either hop or walk towards the front of your mat into a forward fold. Let's bring our feet a little bit let's say shoulder width apart here. Just kind of hanging here in a forward fold, back and forth. And then let's inhale into halfway lift, extending from our hips, our crown, keeping that spine nice and long, exhaling back down into forward fold. And then inhale, standing all the way up, bringing our gaze and our arms towards the sky, and then stepping towards the side of our mat. Beautiful. Okay, now since it is Taurus energy and we are in the dead of spring, if you're in the northern hemisphere, we're going to head into tree pose because, again, it is grounding and it signifies a lot of things that are growing in this season. So you can start on either side. I'm going to start by finding balance on my left foot, and you can have a couple options here. You can put your right foot either on your ankle, or you can put it above your knee, or if you're feeling the extra challenge, and this is definitely a challenge for me, you can wedge it up there towards the high part of your leg. Just kind of rest it there. The only place you don't want to put it is directly on your knee. I'm going to challenge myself in this season. It's okay if you're wobbling like me, and you can either do prayer hands or put your hands up in the sky like a growing tree. Put a few deep breaths here. Showing yourself so much love for showing up today. So much gratitude. Feels so good to sync up with the seasons of the earth. That steady, grounding energy from Taurus season. And let's go ahead and release our hands, and then release our foot. Shake it out. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to find my balance on my right foot. Again, switch to whatever side you were not on before. And you can put your foot, either your left foot on your ankle, above your knee, or wedge it up in the high part of your leg. I'm going to try to challenge myself again. Meet yourself where you're at. Finding my balance. Breathing, focusing on a spot if I need to. We opened those hips earlier, so hopefully that's helping you in this pose. Then I'm going to raise my hand, celebrate the growth that I'm experiencing in this season. Letting that grounding energy, that earth energy, tell me anything it needs to in this season. Again, being compassionate with myself if I wobble. Allowing. Go ahead and release down. Shake it out. The left side is harder for me. All right, let's shake out our hips just a little bit here. Inhale, reach up into star pose. Exhale, bring those biceps by the ear, and let's hinge at the hips. Slowly swan dive forward into a wide-legged forward fold. All right, once you get there, let's place our hands on our mat. Keep the left hand palm on the mat, and let's reach the right arm towards the sky and just a gentle twist. Stacking those shoulders, looking up towards the sky, and then switching. Right palm on the ground, on the mat. Left hand towards the sky, stacking my shoulders, breathing. And releasing down. Now go ahead and join me in the seated position on your mat. You can get there however it feels comfortable to you, but let's go ahead and find our seat. And slowly leaning it back, I'm going to bring my knees towards my chest, give myself a big hug here. Feeling that extension in my lower back. Again, feeling that grounding energy on the mat. Then I'm going to keep my left knee hugged in tight, extend my right leg as far as I can. Keeping that right foot flexed. What you do with your left foot is up to you, but you're hugging that left knee in as far as you can. Then we're going to go ahead and switch. So bring the right knee in towards my body, hugging it in close, extending that left leg, flexing the left foot. Feeling steady and strong in our Taurus energy. Now let's go ahead and bring the bottoms of our feet back to our mat. Our knees are bent. I'm going to go ahead and extend my right leg up, keeping my foot flexed. And then I'm going to do just a seated figure 8 here. Now you can keep it here, again, opening the hips, or if you want to bring your left knee towards you, you can. But what's important is that you're bringing your right knee towards the bottom of your mat, pushing it forward, and then trying to bring your left knee close to you to feel that tension in your hip, that stretch. And keeping both feet flexed, keeping my shoulder blades on the ground still if I can, not hunched up. Remember, another big part of Taurus season is enjoying earthly pleasures, from eating a yummy meal to sharing a beautiful hug to seeing a beautiful sunset to any and all of the physical pleasures. So allow yourself to experience and just enjoy those little things of this season as we switch to the other side. So releasing down. Now going to extend my left foot up towards the sky first, flexing that foot, feeling hamstring stretch, and then bringing my left ankle over my right knee. And you can either keep that foot on the ground or bring your right knee towards your chest, still pushing that left knee towards the front of the mat. Keeping both feet flexed. Breathing. Feels so beautiful and delicious to stretch and open my hips. Keep a lot of tension there. Then go ahead and release down. And we're just going to head into Savasana. Now you can do traditional Savasana here, or if you want to do butterfly legs and cactus arms, you can. Sometimes I do that. But today I'm just going to ground myself on my mat in Savasana. Take nice, deep, full breaths and tune into what I need in this Taurus season, where I can direct this powerful, steady, stubborn energy towards in my life. Now you can either stay in this Savasana for a little bit longer if you'd like, or if you're ready, go ahead and join me in the center of your mat. Now remember, you can tap into this energy at any point. You can come back and do this yoga flow at any time in the year, but especially during the Taurus season, we can harness that beautiful, powerful. So I keep mentioning stubborn, but stubbornness is not always a negative thing. It can really serve us in this season. Just bringing some gentle awareness to it and enjoying the physical pleasures of our life. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you in the next yoga flow. Namaste.